Hey, so welcome to Easy Video Lab. In this video, I want to orient you to the application, but first I should let you know that we've recently changed the name of this application from Kinetic Text Animator to Easy Video Lab to reflect the fact that we're moving beyond just text animations and trying to have a more complete video solution. Now, the whole concept of this application is to try to make things as easy for you as possible. But I'll be trying to show that in these videos here, but let me just get you oriented to the application as we are right now. So what we have over here on the left hand side are the animations and assets, the kinds of motion and functionalities that you can add to the timeline. If you look down here on the timeline, you'll see that whenever I click on something, it's context sensitive, goes right to the settings of that block. We call these anablocks. They are basically layered here on this timeline, and they allow you to, of course, they contain whatever settings are for what that particular animation. I'll go ahead and play this just so you see what's going on in this. So this is constructed of 4 elements: an MP4 video background. You have an animation of this PNG character. We have a QuickTime MOV animation right here, the caption, and then finally the text animation on top of it. Again, as I click on them, it's context sensitive so that I can go ahead and click and then edit the assets. If I want to create something new, I can do that by adding another layer here. So you can see that we have the ability to add either video animation or audio layers, and then you can also remove them. But I'll go ahead and add an animation layer here. And what you want to do is when I click on this little plus button here, it's going to create an empty block for me to add stuff to it. But I want to do that, like in this case, I want to rewind to the beginning. This is kind of the playback head. That line kind of shows you where everything is, all down the layers. And this is where I want to click to add something new, because it's going to put that empty block right there. And then I can go up here and select one of these assets and add something in there. And we're going to cover that in a separate video. I do want to point out that each have a preview here if you roll over the information, and you can click on it for more information as well. We have more, we've basically been updating this so fast that we haven't had a chance to really get through everything. You will find some videos in the member area as well on these things and I am redoing the videos to reflect the new name as well. But much of the functionality you'll find in the tutorials still is the same. So I'm going to go ahead and I can show you that I can delete that block, and then I can also remove any additional frames. Even if I had more, it's selected right now to remove extra animation layers, and I can do that here. So you can, up here, you'll notice that, for the fonts, you have the ability to select a different font that you want. And this position grid is designed to allow you to specify where in the animation you want it to, or on the stage you want it to appear. And you can draw a box from upper left to lower right, and it's going to appear centered in that grid area. We are planning to get to the point where you can actually click on the text and move it around, but this technology that we're using is kind of a hybrid that we haven't seen probably before. It's not air, it's not cloud, it's something new, and so that the ability to just click on the text wasn't easy. So right now we use a positioning grid. We hope to make that easier for you in the near future. Over here on the left, you'll see the different options. We have a library with keyword searchable previewing. You can really hone in on whatever you want. So for example, let's say I was going to search for a frustrated image. Let me go ahead and, where's that character? She's disappeared. Let's go ahead and maybe there we are. So if I was to say I wanted to replace this character, I could do a search for that. I can specify images here and do a search, and then I can go ahead and replace that character with something else. And it's going to go ahead and remember the animation, the positioning, and so forth. And so it's kind of a neat feature. We'll go into that in additional in other videos, but just want to show you the whole idea of our search functionality is to be able to keyword search for whatever asset you want and replace it quickly and easily, or if you're starting from scratch as well. So we have the ability to keyword search for quotes to use with the text animations. We have the ability to import assets, but you can also import them from the library or from the assets over here. Like I can browse for an image here as well and find something to add to my library if I want to in that way also. And it will swap in the same way that I just showed you with the library. And over here we have the ability to export, of course, to various formats. MP4, WebM, QuickTime MOV, and PNG sequence are currently what we support. You have the ability to increase or decrease the frames per second, and we have the ability to set the settings. You can save preferences here. You know, if you prefer, if you're working always in say 1280 by 720, you can go ahead and change that size here, and then set that as the preferences that you want when the application is opened again. So down here is this little feature right here, is just the ability to add solid color backgrounds to this background layer here. So I don't want to really overwhelm you in this first video. This is just pretty much getting you oriented to the application, and we'll dive deeper in the next videos.